Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to do something pretty cool. We're going to trace the entire journey of a software project, starting from just a simple idea and taking it all the way to a fully working app. And the twist? We've got AI partners helping out at every single step of the way. We're going to see how a developer can basically direct a team of AIs to come up with ideas, build the code, check it for flaws, and even fix it.
So, here's the big question we're tackling. Can an AI really take a simple idea and build an entire application completely from scratch? We're going to answer that by looking at a real-world project. So this isn't just theory, it's a practical, hands-on look at what happens when you hand the keyboard over to an AI. Okay, let's dive in and see how it all kicks off.
You know, every great project starts with a problem that needs solving. And in this case, the problem was a classic one. How can you let people who have no idea how to write code get data out of a complicated database? The old school answer usually involves a ton of back and forth with developers. The new answer? Well, you're just asking AI.
So that's exactly what the developer did. The very first step was to give a prompt to an AI, in this case, Gemini, and ask it to put on its product manager hat. The task was simple: create a complete project plan, an MVP document for an app that could solve this exact problem.
Now this is so important. Before a single line of code was even thought about, the AI first had to define the absolute core of the product. What did this minimum viable product, or MVP, really need to do? This is such a crucial step in any development process, and in this project, it was handled entirely by the AI.
And Gemini's response was just incredible. It didn't give back some vague, fuzzy outline. No, it laid out this crystal clear 5-step user flow. A user asks a question in plain English, the AI asks for clarification if it needs to, then it generates the database code, the SQL, runs it, and then hands the data back. Just like that, boom, we have a complete logical plan to work from. Okay, so with that solid plan locked in, it was time to actually build the thing. And for this next part, the developer brought in a new specialist, ChatGPT. Its job was to take that plan and act as the lead developer.
And you gotta love the simplicity here. This was the actual request given to ChatGPT, not a request for a little function or a piece of logic. Nope. The request was for the whole thing. The goal wasn't just to get a code snippet, it was to get the entire application structure all ready to go.
And this right here is where you can really see the power in this approach. I mean, look at this. ChatGPT didn't just spit out one giant unreadable code file. It generated a clean, organized file structure. It defined all the dependencies you'd need in a requirements file. It even wrote the documentation on how to set it all up. This is basically a fully built-out project skeleton, and it was created in seconds. So think about that. The application was built in just a few minutes, which is incredible. But here comes the reality check. Was it any good? Was it secure? Was it robust enough to actually use without breaking? This is where we hit the next and maybe most important phase of the project, the audit.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is code written by an AI actually safe to use? To find out, the developer went back to the first AI, Gemini, but gave it a brand new job. This time, Gemini's task was to act like a professional security auditor and find every single bug and vulnerability it could in the code that ChatGPT had just created.
And oh boy, did it find them. The AI audit flagged several really critical security issues. We're talking everything from classic SQL injection vulnerabilities to things that could let an attacker actually run their own code on the server. So this is the crucial takeaway right here. The AI's first draft was a fantastic starting point, but it was absolutely not ready for the real world. It needed to be hardened.
Okay, so with a clear to-do list of bugs and security holes, it was time for the refinement phase. And this meant bringing in a third AI collaborator, an AI named Jules, to act as a specialist mechanic. Its job was to take the audit report and generate the code needed to fix each specific problem. And this created this really powerful feedback loop. The developer would take each vulnerability found by Gemini and hand it over to Jules as a specific task to solve. So for a problem like the app crashing, Jules would generate a code patch. The developer would review that patch, merge it into the project, and then move on to the next item on the list. One by one, the vulnerabilities were getting patched up. So after this whole cycle of ideation, creation, auditing, and then fixing, all of it done with different AI collaborators, what did the final hardened application actually look like? Was it really any better? Well, a final reevaluation by Gemini confirmed that the project was a huge success. This whole iterative process worked. The prompts were refined, which led to more accurate code.
The error handling and stability were beefed up, making the app way more robust. And with better usability and clearer documentation, it had evolved from just a basic proof of concept into a genuinely refined and usable application.
You know, this whole journey really shows a powerful new way to work. The developer here isn't just a coder anymore. They're more like a director or a project manager orchestrating a team of highly specialized AIs. They define the problem, they choose the right AI for the job, and they guide the process from beginning to end. It leaves us with a really provocative thought about the future of how software gets made and the evolving role of the humans who are in charge of it all.